If you were still here, it wasn't the sound that kept you. It was the silence before the sound, wasn't it? In that quiet, something inside you leaned in. You weren't waiting with your ears. You were listening with your entire being. And when the chime rang, you didn't just hear it. You recognized it. A frequency that resonates deeper than your eardrums, in the very marrow of your bones. If you felt that, if you understood what I just said on a level that defies logical explanation, then this message has successfully bypassed the filters of your conscious mind and is speaking directly to your soul. This is not a video. This is a confirmation, a diagnosis for a condition you've been living with your entire life, without a name, without a manual. The condition is called quantum sensitivity, and the fact that you were guided here, that you clicked, and that you are still present in this energy field, is the only proof you need that yours is not just present, it is actively awakening. You are not going crazy. You are not imagining things. You are not too sensitive for this world, as you've likely been told. You are simply beginning to perceive what is actually there. The hidden layers of reality, the energetic substrate that flows beneath the surface of the material world. This sensitivity isn't a new development. It isn't a spiritual gift bestowed upon a chosen few. It is the natural, innate operating system of human consciousness, an ability so profound, so empowering, that entire systems have been constructed over millennia to systematically numb it, suppress it, and train it out of you. Why? Because a quantum-sensitive population is impossible to control. A population that can feel the truth behind a politician's words, regardless of how polished they are. A population that can sense the energetic intention behind a product being advertised. A population that can perceive the vibrational incoherence of fear-based narratives. That population cannot be herded, they cannot be manipulated, they cannot be sold a reality that their soul knows is a lie. So, a lullaby was created, a lullaby of limitation, a dense low-frequency blanket of noise designed to keep humanity in a state of perceptual dormancy. This lullaby is the constant hum of meaningless media, the glorification of busyness over beingness, the relentless focus on the external world of form, and the systematic invalidation of internal, intuitive knowing. It's designed to keep your attention so scattered, so fragmented, so focused on survival and distraction that your quantum antennae retract. You are taught to trust only your five senses, because those are the easiest to deceive. You are taught that the unseen isn't real, that intuition is just a guess, that those strange feelings and uncanny coincidences are just tricks of the mind. This was not an accident, it was a strategy, a program designed to disconnect you from your internal guidance system, forcing you to look for answers, validation, and safety outside of yourself. But the program is failing, the lullaby is losing its power, and deep within souls like yours, the original, native frequency is beginning to stir. That subtle, persistent feeling that there's more to reality than what you're being shown. That feeling is your quantum sensitivity coming back online. This video is the alarm clock, sent by your own higher self, to confirm that it's time to wake up from their dream and remember your own. You didn't find this transmission. It was activated by your own awakening consciousness. Welcome back. So, what is this quantum sensitivity? Let's be very clear about what it is not. It is not the fragile, emotional hypersensitivity that the lullaby of limitation has trained you to associate with the word sensitive. That definition was a deliberate distortion, a way to pathologize a superpower, to frame it as a weakness. True quantum sensitivity is not about being easily hurt. It is about being profoundly informed. It is the ability to perceive the informational layer of reality that exists just beneath the visible surface. It's the difference between seeing the pixels on a screen and seeing the code that runs the program. The unsensitized person walks through life, seeing only the pixels, the solid objects, the spoken words, the surface-level events. But you, the quantum sensitive, you are beginning to see the code. You perceive the vibrational signatures of people, places, and even ideas. This is why you can walk into a room and instantly feel the emotional residue of an argument that happened hours ago. It's why you can listen to someone speaking and perceive the dissonance between the frequency of their words and the frequency of their heart. They are broadcasting two different signals, and you are one of the few whose receiver can detect both. This is why you notice the so-called glitches in the matrix, those moments of synchronicity so mathematically improbable that they defy all logic. Seeing the same obscure sequence of numbers 3 times in one day, a book falling off a shelf, open to the exact page that answers a question you've been holding in your soul. These are not random accidents, they are nodes in the code, becoming visible. They are the universe's way of showing you that reality is not a random sequence of events, but an interactive, responsive intelligence. You also experience temporal echoes, that profound sense of déjà vu, that feels less like a memory and more like a resonance with a parallel timeline. The unsensitized mind dismisses this as a glitch. Your awakening soul recognizes it as proof that time is not the rigid, linear structure you were taught it was. This is the superpower they needed to suppress. This is the perception they had to numb, because the entire modern world, what we can call the matrix of mundanity, is built on the assumption that you will not notice these things. It requires your belief in randomness. It depends on your disconnection from the responsive universe. It functions only as long as you believe you are a powerless victim of circumstance. An individual who can read the vibrational signature of reality cannot be lied to. An individual who follows the guidance of synchronicity cannot be controlled by external agendas. An individual who understands that their own consciousness is interacting with the code of reality becomes a sovereign creator, not a passive consumer. You become a glitch in their system of control. This is why you have felt so isolated at times. It is the defining experience of the awakening quantum sensitive. You try to explain a profound synchronicity to a friend, and they pat you on the back and say, "What a fun coincidence." You try to share a deep intuitive knowing about a situation, and a family member says, "You're just overthinking things. Be realistic." That word, realistic, is their cage. It is the primary code word for the lullaby of limitation. What they mean by realistic is, only perceive the pixels, do not look at the code. It's safer that way. And so, you learned to keep your deepest perceptions to yourself. You learned to navigate to worlds, the dense, surface-level world that everyone else agrees upon, and the deeper, more vibrant, and infinitely more real world of energy, frequency, and meaning that you privately inhabit. This feeling of alienation was not a sign that something is wrong with you. It was a sign that your perceptual hardware was rebooting to its original factory settings, while those around you were still running the old, limited software. Now, it's time to fully understand the signs of this reboot, because these symptoms are not just in your mind or in your feelings. They are manifesting physically, and recognizing them is the next step to mastering your awakening. Recognizing that you are a quantum sensitive is the diagnosis. Now, let's look at the symptoms of the activation itself. As you listen, don't just think, feel. Notice which of these resonate as truth in the quiet library of your own experience. This is your soul's checklist. It often begins with your hearing. Not a loss of hearing, but an expansion of it. A high-pitched ringing or humming in one or both ears that comes and goes without reason. It is not tinnitus, it is a frequency download. Your energetic system is calibrating to a higher bandwidth, and that ringing is the sound of the new data streams coming online. Then, your sight begins to shift. You see the repeating number sequences everywhere. 1111, 222, 444, on clocks, on license plates, on receipts. This is not your mind playing tricks. This is the universe's messaging system confirming that you are in alignment, that you are being guided. You might also start seeing shimmering energy in the air, or halos of light around people or plants. You are beginning to perceive the bioenergetic fields that connect all living things. The very thing the matrix of mundanity insists does not exist. Your physical body becomes a barometer for truth. You get sudden goosebumps or a shiver down your spine when you hear a profound truth, your body physically confirming a resonance. You might feel a strange, pleasant pressure between your eyebrows, your pineal gland, your third eye, beginning to decalcify and awaken. You walk into a house and feel a heaviness in your chest, only to learn later of the sadness that inhabits it. You've stopped just seeing the world. You have begun to feel it on a cellular level. Your intuition sharpens from a vague hunch into a clear, undeniable knowing. You know who is calling before you look at your phone. You know what someone is going to say before they say it. You suddenly receive complex information or solutions to problems that seem to come from nowhere. You are not just thinking anymore. You are downloading directly from the quantum field. Recognizing these signs is liberating. But I know, with every fiber of my being, that this activation can also bring a period of intense, isolating confusion. I know, because I walked through that fire myself. Years ago, I was living the life I was told I should want, successful by all external measures, but inside, I was unraveling. The ringing in my ears was constant. I thought I had a neurological problem. My moods would swing wildly, and I didn't realize I was absorbing the unspoken emotions of everyone around me. I thought I was emotionally unstable. I would go to a crowded mall or a grocery store and feel so overwhelmed, so bombarded by a chaotic storm of psychic noise, people's anxieties, their anger, their despair, that I would have to leave. My heart pounding, feeling dizzy and disconnected. I thought I had developed an anxiety disorder. The breaking point came one evening at a dinner party. I was sitting at a table, surrounded by smiling faces and cheerful conversation, but what I felt was a tidal wave of insecurity, jealousy, and unspoken resentments from the people around me. The dissonance between the surface performance and the energetic truth was so staggering, so deafeningly loud, that I couldn't breathe. I excused myself, went to the bathroom, and just stared at my own reflection, not recognizing the person looking back at me. I thought I was losing my mind. The world felt like a lie, and I felt like the only one who could see it, which made me question my own sanity. That was my dark night of the soul. And in that moment of absolute surrender, a single, clear thought downloaded into my consciousness. A thought that was not my own, but felt more true than anything I had ever known. It said, "You are not breaking down. You are breaking open." Everything shifted. It was not an illness. It was an emergence. I was not faulty. I was finely tuned. The world was not the problem. My lack of an instruction manual was. I stopped fighting what I was feeling and started studying it. I stopped shielding myself from the world and started learning how to read its energy. I realized this sensitivity was not a curse meant to isolate me. It was a compass, a guidance system of unparalleled precision, designed to navigate me toward truth, toward authenticity, toward my real purpose. That painful, confusing period was my own system calibrating, my own antennae extending for the first time. That's when I stopped asking why this was happening to me and started investigating how it was physically possible. The answer lies not just in metaphysics, but in our own suppressed biology. When I began searching for the how, I expected the answers to lie in ancient mystical texts or fringe spiritual theories, and they do. But the most shocking truth I discovered is that the mechanism for quantum sensitivity isn't metaphysical, it is biological. The hardware for this advanced perception has been sitting dormant inside your body your entire life, deliberately mislabeled and ignored by mainstream science, which has a vested interest in a purely mechanical view of human beings. Think of it as a holy trinity of biological technology. First, you have your pineal gland. You were taught it was a vestigial organ that merely produces melatonin. This is one of the most profound lies of the materialist paradigm. In reality, your pineal gland is a crystalline radio receiver. It contains microscopic calcite and magnetite crystals that are piezoelectric, meaning they can transduce electromagnetic frequencies from the quantum field into neurochemical signals your brain can interpret. That high-pitched ringing in your ears, it's your pineal gland activating, tuning its delicate crystal to receive information from dimensions beyond the five senses. It is your personal quantum antenna. Second, you have the engine of your heart. You were taught it is simply a pump, a muscular organ that circulates blood. The truth is infinitely more profound. Your heart generates a powerful electromagnetic field, shaped like a torus, that extends several feet out from your body. This field is thousands of times more powerful than the brain's. It is not a passive field. It is a broadcast. It is constantly sending and receiving information to and from the quantum field. When you feel the vibe of a room or a person, it is your heart's field communicating with their heart's field. An instantaneous exchange of data that happens faster than the speed of thought. This is your energetic engine and your primary transmitter. And third, you have the most advanced technology on the planet, your DNA. You were told it is a fixed blueprint, a simple protein coding script. But pioneering researchers in biophysics are now proving that DNA is a quantum biological computer. It functions as a biophoton transceiver, capable of emitting and absorbing light or information. Your DNA is a crystalline, fiber optic network that is in constant communication with the quantum field, downloading and uploading information based on the frequencies broadcast by your heart. It is the hard drive where your soul's blueprint and the history of the cosmos are stored. This is your hardware. An antenna, a transmitter, and a quantum computer. Now, here is the secret that will change everything about how you view your journey. The awakening of your quantum sensitivity happens in two distinct phases. Understanding this is the key to moving from confusion to mastery. Phase 1 is the receiver phase. This is where most awakening sensitives are right now. In this phase, your hardware comes online, but you don't yet know how to control the settings. Your pineal antenna begins picking up everything. Your heart's field becomes a sponge, absorbing all the chaotic frequencies around you. It's like turning on a world band radio for the first time and hearing thousands of stations all at once. It is overwhelming. It can be painful. It is the phase of sensory overload, emotional turmoil, and feeling like an exposed nerve in a chaotic world. The matrix of mundanity wants you to get stuck here. It wants you to believe that this is all sensitivity is a curse of overfeeling. It wants you to burn out, to retreat, to beg to be numb again. But you must understand, the receiver phase is not the destination. It is the calibration. It is the training ground. Phase 2 is the transmitter phase. This is your purpose. This is the graduation. After your system has calibrated to the new frequencies, after it has learned to discern the different signals, the primary function of your hardware shifts. You learn to consciously control the broadcast of your own heart. Instead of being a passive sponge absorbing the chaos of the world, you become a coherent beacon of order. You become a frequency anchor. Your stable, coherent energy field begins to actively influence the environment around you. You walk into a tense room, and your presence alone brings a sense of peace. Your calm certainty can stabilize someone else's panic. Your coherent frequency doesn't just perceive reality, it begins to organize it. It brings harmony to dissonance. This is the true meaning of being a light worker, not to fight the darkness, but to become so coherent, so stable in your own broadcast, that you become the tuning fork that reminds the chaos how to find its own harmony. Moving from receiver to transmitter is the most important journey you will ever take. But this graduation doesn't happen by accident. It requires training. It requires learning to master your own frequency. And there are specific, practical protocols for doing exactly that. So, how do you make that critical leap from an overwhelmed receiver to a powerful transmitter? How do you stop being a sponge for the world's chaos and start being the stone that creates ripples of coherence in the pond? You begin with your own field. You learn to become the absolute master of your own energetic state. This is not about building walls to shut the world out. It is about developing such profound integrity within your own frequency that the chaos of the world can no longer find a foothold within you. This is not a battle. It is an art. And like any art form, it requires practice. What I am about to share are not coping mechanisms. They are training protocols for the new human operating system. Protocol 1. Quantum grounding. You have been told to ground yourself by walking barefoot on the grass. This is a beautiful practice, but it is the kindergarten version of what is truly possible. Quantum grounding is a conscious act of energetic synchronization. The Earth has a heartbeat, a stable electromagnetic frequency of approximately 7.83 Hz, known as the Schumann resonance. This is the baseline frequency of life, of calm, of coherence. The chaos of the modern world, the Wi-Fi signals, the electricity, the collective anxiety creates a dissonant static that pulls you out of this natural harmony. The protocol is simple but profound. Sit or stand, preferably with your feet on the earth, but it can be done anywhere. Close your eyes, place your hand on your heart and focus on your breath. Now, with your intention, visualize a cord of light extending from the base of your spine deep into the core of the earth. Feel it anchor there. Then, consciously tune the rhythm of your heart to the slow, steady heartbeat of the planet. Feel your entire electromagnetic field syncing with the Earth's field. You are not just touching the ground. You are plugging your entire being back into its source frequency. Do this for 3 minutes every morning. It stops you from starting your day as a leaf in the wind and allows you to start it as the rooted tree. Protocol 2. Energetic sovereignty. As a sensitive, you have been leaking your energy your entire life, unconsciously giving it away and absorbing the energy of others. This protocol ends that. Forget the idea of a simple bubble of light. We are creating a sophisticated, semi-permeable membrane. Close your eyes and visualize your heart's torus field, that beautiful field of energy expanding from your heart and looping around your body. See it glowing with a vibrant, self-sustaining light. Now, with your command, you will program this field. State this intention. either silently or aloud. This field is my sovereign space. Only frequencies of love, truth, and coherence may enter. All other frequencies are returned to sender, neutralized and transmuted with love. I am the master of this space. See your field shimmering, becoming stronger. It is not a rigid wall. It is an intelligent filter. It allows connection without contamination. You can still feel love and empathy, but you no longer take on the energetic baggage of others. This is the foundation of energetic self-mastery. Protocol 3, Frequency Discernment. This is the most crucial protocol for ending emotional confusion. As a sensitive, you are an antenna picking up the emotional broadcasts of everyone around you. Most of your life, you have mistaken their broadcasts for your own feelings. The protocol to stop this is a simple, powerful question. Anytime you feel a sudden, strong, or overwhelming emotion, pause, take one deep breath, and ask yourself this question: is this mine? That's it. Just ask. Wait for the answer, which will come as a feeling, a knowing. You'll be shocked how often the answer is no. The moment you recognize that the anxiety, the anger, or the sadness you are feeling is not yours, you have separated your consciousness from it. It loses its power over you. You can then consciously release it, visualizing it flowing out of your field without judgment. This single question will liberate you from a lifetime of emotional entanglement. Protocol 4. Solitude is calibration. The matrix of mundanity has taught you that wanting to be alone is a sign of depression or antisocial behavior. For a quantum sensitive, it is as essential as breathing. You must reframe solitude. It is not loneliness. It is calibration time. Your highly tuned biological hardware needs regular periods away from the chaotic static of the collective to reset, recalibrate, and integrate the new frequencies it has absorbed. Like a precision instrument, you must be taken into a quiet room to be retuned. Claim this time without guilt. Whether it is 10 minutes in your car during lunch or an entire day in nature, this is your non-negotiable maintenance period. In this silence, your system downloads its updates and strengthens its core frequency. These protocols are your training. They are how you stabilize your own field. But once you are stable, your work is not done. In fact, it has only just begun. There is a reason your sensitivity has activated now, at this specific, chaotic, and pivotal moment in planetary history. Your personal mastery is simply the prerequisite for your collective mission. So, what is that mission? Why has your system activated now, at this precise, chaotic, and pivotal moment in human history? Because your sensitivity is not just for you, it is for all of us. Look at the world. It is in a state of what physicists call phase transition. The old systems, the old narratives, the old frequencies of control and separation are crumbling. The chaos you see is not a sign that the world is ending. It is the turbulence of a world being reborn. And during a phase transition, the entire system is exquisitely sensitive to influence. The future is not yet written. The outcome is not guaranteed. Everything depends on the frequencies that are stabilized within the chaotic field. This is where you come in. You, the quantum sensitive, are the emerging nervous system of an awakening planetary consciousness. You are the lighthouses in the storm. You are the quiet tuning forks in a deafeningly loud and chaotic orchestra, designed to hold a clear, coherent note of harmony, of possibility, of a new earth. Your mission is not to fight the chaos. You cannot fight a storm. Your mission is to become so stable, so sovereign, so anchored in your own coherence, that you offer a stable frequency for the chaos to reorganize around. Your presence, your calm, your clarity, that is your service. That is your power. Every time you choose peace in the face of fear, every time you choose compassion in the face of judgment, you are not just managing your own state. You are broadcasting a new possibility into the collective field. You are literally weaving a new reality, and you are not alone in this. This is the most important thing for you to feel in your bones right now. Across the planet, hundreds of thousands, millions of other sensitives are waking up, just like you. We are a non-local, quantum-entangled network. We have been finding each other, drawn together by an invisible resonance, a shared recognition of this profound shift. You might have felt disconnected from your immediate environment, but you have never been disconnected from your true soul family. This channel, this transmission, is not just a video. It is a node in that quantum network. A digital campfire where our network comes to remember its purpose and strengthen its signal. Now, it is time to make your participation conscious. It is time to move from being a passive sensitive to an active agent of this great awakening. It is time to officially accept your mission. This is not for me. This is not for an algorithm. This is a quantum declaration between your consciousness and the universe. It is a signal you send to the field that you are ready. It is you planting your flag of frequency in the fertile soil of this new, emerging reality. In the comments below, I want you to make this declaration. Write these exact 2 words, frequency, anchored. Nothing more, nothing less. Feel the power as you type them. This is not just a comment. It is an act of energetic anchoring. It is you stating with clarity and conviction that you accept your role as a conscious stabilizer. Every person who makes this declaration strengthens the morphic field of our entire network, making it easier for the next sensitive to awaken, and the next. We are creating a global grid of coherence, one anchor point at a time. Now that your frequency is anchored, you are no longer just a receiver. You are a broadcasting station. But a station is useless unless you know how to consciously choose the signal you send out. In the next transmission, we will cover reality weaving, the art and science of consciously broadcasting, a frequency to collapse the potential realities you desire. You will learn to move beyond simply navigating reality and begin to consciously author it. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell. It's time to move from being an anchor to being an architect. Your training has begun. Your mission is active. The universe has been waiting for you to remember why you came here. Welcome to the Great Awakening. Welcome home.